By aligning yourself with the winner, she will amplify your brand and tell everyone how awesome you are behind the scenes. These are the do's and don'ts of how to reach out to a title holder who you are planning on succeeding, someone who has the title that you are currently competing for. Now, this morning I had someone reach out to me and look over a note she was planning on sending over Instagram DMs, and I gave her some feedback that I realized A, is not very intuitive. You have to have the life experience to know. And B, there's just no playbook for how to engage and reach out and ask for help. So I decided to make a video of what I told her because these are things that I've learned over the last decade through business communications and also digital etiquette, which I'm sharing and distilling right now. The very first thing is that you should never be afraid to ask for help. Sometimes it can feel like you are coming off as desperate if you are sending too many messages. And if you are following up over and over and over again and someone's not interested in talking to you, yeah, that could be a little spammy and a little inappropriate. But for the most part, I'm telling you, 99.9% of communications between a contestant and the reigning title holder, the current winner, that is all above board and 100% A-okay. That's because as women, generally, we don't ask for help enough. So when we do ask for help, it almost feels like we are infringing on someone's time. It's like we're, almost embarrassed to ask for help because sure, they're so busy and they must be doing so many more important things. But the truth is, reigning winners have a responsibility to be available for contestants, especially since when the pageant rolls around, it's time for her to give up her crown. She moves into this sort of legacy mode, which is, shoot, I have maybe 2 months left. How do I maximize this? How do I really make an impact? And an easy way to help her feel good about the end of her year and to help take her mind off of the impending doom of losing her crown, just kidding, is to really give her an opportunity to help you. So don't be afraid to ask for help and get this whole idea of, I'm afraid of being desperate. I don't want to come off as needy. Like, get that out of your head right now because it is not helpful and it's not real. Those are all just figments of your imagination. Don't be afraid to ask for help. And this brings me to my next point, which is how to ask for help. If you grew up digitally native, if you're a Gen Zer, it's probably the easiest thing for you just to type off a message and send it over Instagram DMs. The problem with that is that Instagram DMs can be hard to manage. It's not really an official inbox. Everything is done on the phone, and if your title holder is very busy or the winner that you're approaching is super impacted, it can be very easy for those DMs to get lost. So if you don't hear back the first time, wait a week and then follow up again. What you can also do is comment on a photo on her grid and say, hey, I sent you an Instagram DM, would love to hear back. Now, for the nature of the Instagram DM, don't send her a wall of text. If you have reached the limit on Instagram DMs, that's probably a sign that what you're sending her is too long. You could send her a message that maybe points to a different direction, like, hey, quick note introducing yourself, a specific question, and then asking if you can engage her over email or even a phone number. So the Instagram DM is only a way to get the conversation to a longer term medium, which is phone or email, okay? You don't wanna keep everything in Instagram DMs because I don't know about you, but whenever I open my Instagram DMs, my mind immediately goes to, okay, there's a lot going on. I just want to respond, react, and then move on with my life. Your winners probably might have that same association to Instagram. It's hard to take it seriously, and real relationship building doesn't happen on Instagram DM as much as it happens over a video conference, face-to-face, email, or on the phone. So when you do reach out to the winner, send her a DM that brings her to those channels because you want to elevate yourself in her mind to a place where she can actually give you concrete advice and focus on you one-on-one. Instagram, whenever I'm opening it and on my DMs, I'm getting notifications coming in. It's just sort of, imagine like a really crowded mall. Instagram DMs and most social media DMs and messages are like that crowded mall. There's a lot of distraction, a lot of noise, a lot of different smells, right? Like Auntie Anne's at the malls is always smelling so good. There's a lot happening on Instagram. So you just want to move her off of Instagram and engage her in a way where you have her 100% full attention. Once you reach out to her, Well, first of all, you need to ask her for her email or phone number. And she generally will give it to you, especially if the ask is very specific, such as, I have some questions to ask you about the pageant coming up. You are the only person I know who has the experience of wearing the crown. Please help me. She will give you her phone number or email. I would reach out via email first, and this is where you send her the original wall of text that you were going to send her. When you send her that email, introduce yourself, tell her about your platform, ask specific questions about what you need help with. Do not ask, do you have any advice? The reason why you don't ask, do you have any advice, is because it's just too open-ended, and the cognitive load on something like that from the recipient is like, oh gosh, now I have to come up with an advice plan to provide. And some winners are like, yeah, advice, be confident, use these resources, wear these shoes. Some already have that sort of ready to go. But for me, whenever I'm asked, do you have any advice? I'm like, what kind of advice are you looking for? Are you looking for how to be more confident in this area of competition? Are you looking for how to find sponsors? Are you looking for how to create a good social media strategy? Are you looking for my opinion on what headshot to choose? Like, there's so many questions. You want to go specific, because that way you get the quality of advice that you're looking for in a way that actually benefits you, and it's easier for the title holder to actually answer those questions. Something else that you want to do is when you send the email, you want to attach your fact sheet to that email. That way the title holder has an idea of who you are, what she's working with, and she can better advise you because she already knows something about you. If you just get a random email that comes in and, an Instagram profile, sure, she might be able to draw some conclusions based on what you look like and what your profile says, but send her what the judges would see. So if you have your resume, your fact sheet, your platform, or your social impact statement already ready to go, just send it to her, because you're giving her information off of which she can advise you. You don't want her to have to ask for it. You want to volunteer it ahead of time. So in addition to engaging her over email, one caveat is that I think email is still not as good as in-person or face-to-face. Okay, I just gave you a bunch of tips about how to communicate with her over a more formal channel, attaching your resume, giving her all that information, asking specific questions. But even better than that would be to get some sort of FaceTime with her. That's because when you get FaceTime with someone, you are developing a relationship on a much more quality level. If you can meet her in person, that would be the best. Take her out for coffee, invite her out for a meal, endeavor to meet her where she is. If you're asking for help, by the way, it's on you, the requester, to make the journey. So this is another unspoken thing. Another unspoken protocol in communications in general is if you are reaching out for someone and asking someone for help, you are the one who makes it easy for her. So you have to go by her schedule, and ideally you would pay for the meal, or at least offer to pay for the meal. Another reason to meet in person is that this makes you real in her eyes. And any time that you get with that person is just so much richer, and it will allow her to also scale out your reputation. And what I mean by scaling out your reputation is that towards the end of her reign, during pageant week, that is her last hurrah. Everyone wants to know what she thinks and what is going through her mind. One question every outgoing title holder gets, I swear, is who do you want to succeed you? Who do you think has a good chance of winning? And who are some contestants you like? You want to get your name in the answers of any of those three questions that she's asked, because the title holder herself is such an influential figure that week. The outgoing winner, everyone is going to be hanging on to her every word, and having done her full year, she would know who is best equipped to carry on that crown moving forward. So if you get that face-to-face conversation and time with her, become friends with her, win her over, and she can amplify your brand. Especially if you already have a good brand. Like, this is sort of the inside scoop here. Assuming that your resume is a 10, your onstage competition is a 10, your interview is a 10, the one thing that'll cinch it for you is really getting the outgoing winner to plug you behind the scenes. Everyone talks. The pageant community is very small, so her talking about you in a positive way can only help you, because word travels fast. The experienced contestants, the ones who come back over and over again, have all established some sort of relationship with the person whose job they're after. So start thinking like them, and don't be afraid to reach out for help and befriend her. In summary, if you ask for advice in the written form, Don't say, do you have any advice? Ask for specific questions. List out questions if she prefers to write out answers. Some people prefer to write it out. Some title holders don't want to meet you face to face, don't have time to meet you face to face, but would be more comfortable typing out answers. And for others, they prefer hopping on the phone. It just depends on the communication style of the winner. But again, because you are reaching out for help, you have to go by the medium or the preference that she shares. So if she prefers to keep everything in writing, just do that in writing. List out your questions specifically. It can be a long list, but just keep it specific, okay? None of this open-ended, do you have any advice for me? Keep it very, very targeted and concrete. Others hate typing and writing and prefer meeting face-to-face, even through FaceTime or Google Hangouts, Zoom. So just ask her those questions. What do you prefer to communicate with? Do you want to meet face-to-face? Do you want to do email? Like, just let me know. Ask those questions and put the ball in her court. Thank you for watching this video. Please implement the strategies that I shared with you. They are applicable not just to pageants, but also in job hunting, in business, and in life. All right, I'll see you at my next video. Bye.